Welcome back to the Spiritual Mastery Project. Today I'm sitting down with Tanya, and when we first met, she was carrying, I would say, an unimaginable weight of losing her daughter and also facing a severe health crisis. And today, through the power of this healing work and her will to move through what was holding her back, she has completely shifted her life, earning a certificate in theology and becoming a certified somatic breathwork facilitator. So we are going to dive into different things, inner child work, moving past the skepticism of doing the healing work or getting into healing, and what it actually takes to heal. So let's get right into it. Here's the case study interview with Tanya. Hi, everyone. I have Tanya with me, and Tanya has done sessions with me in the past, and it's helped her in her life. And I thought today that we would, talk about it a little bit. I've known her for about 5 years now. I think we met during COVID.
We did.
We did, yeah. How are you, Tanya?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. So I'm just going to jump into questions. Before we worked together, what change were you trying to make in your life?
Well, you and I got connected very shortly after I lost my daughter. Abby was killed in a military helicopter accident, and I was just kind of floating around the universe. And I had with a T-zone company, sort of, and you and I connected through that.
Yeah,
And you were looking for fitness. And in our conversation, I found out that you were a healer, and we started um, helping each other out. I would do the physical part with you, and then you started doing some mental clarity and mental healing with me.
yeah, yeah. And I remember that was just like it's kind of we met by, you can say accident, but it's not an accident.
No, nothing's
And
ever accident. Everything's a on purpose coincidence.
yeah, I reached out because I wanted someone to keep me on track. Remember I said, make sure I do my stuff.
Yep.
And
Yep.
uh and yeah, so it's interesting how that worked out. So
Hmm.
are so you were trying to get through difficult time.
Yep.
Okay. And then so the next thing would be what had you already tried, and what did work for you?
Well, before even Abby had passed away, I'd gone years of looking for spiritual healing. I've done all sorts of kind of stuff, but after her passing, I really went into a dark place and didn't really know what to do. So I was watching podcasts and listening to things. I listened to some self talk uh, through like Chad Helmstetter. He's an older gentleman that does that. I was doing light therapy and massage and tried a little bit of Reiki as well. And then you and I started doing sessions, and it just really uh, took me in a whole other direction on healing, something that I'd never experienced before.
Yeah, we it's just there's a lot of pain that we had to like move out of the way,
Hmm.
because I remember like and it's normal, it's just debilitating, right?
Yeah,
And you really honor your daughter a lot. Like I still see you honor her a lot. You
daily.
honor
Yeah,
your family, you honor
I
your
do.
daughter. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
A
okay.
lot of the work have done healed a lot of pain that was in family wise in my past as well. Like it opened me up to being able to communicate with family. Um, it helped me get rid of a lot of the darkness that was in me. You worked with me with a lot of light, like bringing light in, getting rid of darkness. Um, one of my favorite uh, exercises we did was inner child work. That was absolutely incredible. I love that.
The going back in time sort of deal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um it's interesting you said that because when I work with someone, I just look at, let my intuition and your intuition do its job. And it's like, what needs to move out? What needs to move out? And what
Mhm.
needs to come in? And it's like, instead of stacking things of pain, it starts stacking things of goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you took off. You're like doing all these things after. That's what I
Even when we weren't working together, because we were working like 3 days a week together. Like you were doing healing, and then once a month you would do like a really transformative, like 1 hour session with me.
yeah.
And in between, you had given me access to your app, which I used almost daily in between our sessions. So I, I really immersed myself in it. I really like just lived in this space where I was going to get better. I wanted to get better so badly that I had no other. That's just what I was going to do. I wasn't giving any of this any extra time to go backwards. I just kept moving forward in what you had going on.
Yeah, I remember you changed so quickly that others around you had difficulty
Yeah.
with uh with how fast you're changing.
Mhm.
Because if you're not carrying that stuff anymore, uh it changes things. But it's not always bad in the end. It's just changing the relationship.
Sure, but if you're not dragging around, this massive suitcase of all garbage you've been carrying around forever, and, like, I just kind of kept getting a smaller bag and a smaller bag and realizing the things I needed to keep with me, and I love to travel now at, like, in real life, and I've just you start to learn how to pack lighter, you learn how to, buy clothes that are, uh a lighter material. You don't necessarily take jeans, you take cotton pants. And that I feel is kind of what you were teaching me all along with even emotions. Like you keep the emotions you need and want, and but you gotta get rid of the old ugly stuff and anything that doesn't feel really right. You were like, just get rid of it. Like, and we're like, wait, no, I can't. And you're like, just let it go. And a lot of the things you taught me, just you could just let go of a lot of the stuff that we think we need. But because we're holding on to all this other stuff, we're not able to get new stuff. And that was something I found with what working with you. It was like pushing out darkness and inviting light in and holding on to the things that mattered.
Yeah, I remember uh that you had a big event you were going to, and it's just like it brought up stuff of the past, and then we walked through it a couple months before, or a month before at least, of the event, and then when you got there, you were able to hold your own. Everything was good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, so instead of going in the past, we were going forward,
Hmm.
and, yeah, because 'cause I've had to do that myself. That's how I know. I had to do it myself. Alright, so how about the sessions? Is always like, I'm not sure what's going on," sort of deal? Like, did you have skepticism about it? Did you a reluctance about it? Like, I'm asking because, uh, it's normal for everyone. Even I get that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what what would you say would go through your head before, or, yeah, feeling about a session?
Sometimes I thought I was kind of hokey. I always looked forward to the sessions simply because I enjoy talking to you. And I would just wonder what will you have in store for us today. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff was like a little off the charts, a little weird. Um, but a couple days later, like there would be a definite shift in how I felt. And even in the middle of it, you'd ask me some questions, and I'm like, I don't know. But uh the more like I mean, even knowing each other for that long, like it's been 4 years. So like, even if we were to do a session tomorrow, I would still probably stare and roll my eyes a little bit. But I felt more and more comfortable that you would never leave me in a weird space. And the things that you were getting me to try or inviting me to look at never even though I thought they were weird, I had developed enough relationship with you that I knew you were not crazy. That you had that what where we were about to do was gonna be valuable.
Because even when I was, I went through mentorship for a lot of this stuff too, and even when I'm going through it, I would ask my teacher, and this I've asked many teachers, like, "Can you see? Are you sure this works?" Or like, what?" And I have to understand what they're doing. And once I do, okay, but it still sounds a little bit strange, just going back in the past and looking at things, or just like moving out, shifting stuff out,
Mhm.
and the things we say, we're gonna get into like um, more spirituality, or like, well, is that true or is that just a story, right? So, but in the end, if we're following the intuition and we have a good ability to work together, and that's the thing is, uh, you want to get through this.
Hmm.
So if you show up wanting to do it, then you have a better chance than someone who doesn't want to, right? Like your mind is
Yeah.
ready for it. You are ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, the Bible asks even, like, "Do you wanna get well?" And I think that's really important. If many people could walk around and think that they wanna get healing and go to but when we want to be well and we find the people that can help us through those things, we can get better. It
Yeah.
a lot like, I know there's some people that are very close to me that would rather stay where they are. They say they're eating better and they say they're being spiritual and they make all these grand things, but in the end, like, you have to want to be well, and I wanted to be well, I wanted to get better. So I was very committed to the work we were doing.
Because I like what I noticed, the big things, which we didn't focus on this, but your diet changed immensely.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy smokes, what's
I
going
I
on?
s I well, when Abby died, I went into 2 years of heavy, heavy drinking. Um, I ended up being hospitalized, and the doctor came into the room, and he was like, "Yeah, you're not even gonna make the next 9 months, so, like, you're not gonna reach your next birthday." And he's like, "Good luck with your life," and he walked out of the door, and I was
Wow.
like, "Wait, what?" And we had just started at that point, like, I was deep, heavy darkness in my body, in my head, um, like, I was grasping at straws, and I I stopped drinking. I walked out of there and I'm like, "Nope, we're not doing this anymore." I stopped drinking. I stopped eating crap. I went sugar-free basically for a full 3 months, purged my body of all the garbage that was going on in it. Um, I'd made a massive, massive change in my life.
And you shifted your life. So a lot of what you told me about the hospital, I didn't know anything about that,
Oh.
right? Like, and to be fair, like uh I knew a little, only what you told me, and a lot of it you didn't tell me. I just knew she's got to move this stuff out. She's got to move this stuff
Mhm.
out, right? And uh that's very interesting because now you're like, you're going all over, you're seeing your kids, you're like, uh your diet has changed, your relationships have changed. And here's the thing that changed. Like, I saw you in person a couple times. Once when I went at Halifax for my daughter out there. Another time when you came to Winnipeg. And I remember when you came to Winnipeg, we went out for a coffee, and then we were driving. I can't forget. It was the rental. I can't remember. It was the rental, but it was like you're sitting beside me, and I was like, "Wow, your energy is super strong."
Mhm.
I like it has changed so much. So you've taken off on your own, right? It's like this is not Al's program. This is your program, right? Like this is the whole thing. Is just like help you get through that part, and then you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, we were like I said, we were meeting 3 days a week, for the better part of a whole year. and then it was, like, maybe 2 times a week because you had other clients, and we kind of did that, and you went on your, um, excursion.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, um, but even when you were away, we reached out to each other, like, so that
Yep.
we did, like, a few little sessions. But you really gave me the opportunity to see on my own how I could do. But then I also still did have your app in the background. I still used that even when you were away. And I know I asked you a few weeks ago about that, and you're like, I don't think I have it anymore. But um, even just having that in my back pocket for really crappy days. You had a few. I think one of the sessions was cutting cords. That
Yeah.
one was always a really good one, I loved that one. Um, and, like, the lesson you did about the inner child, one of the things that you had me do one night, because I was doing security work, and you and I did our sessions either, like,
Oh,
middle of the
yes.
day or really late at night, right?
Yes.
And some of them that were really valuable late at night because, uh, I don't know, like, your I think your body and your mind go in a different quieter place than in the daytime. And you had taught me this thing that, look into yourself sometimes and, um, what's like the think of yourself at a certain age and what does that person need? And so many times over the last number of years, like, I might be in a situation and I can think about me as a little kid, like, what do I need a nap? Do I need a hug? Do I need food? Do I need a bath? And one of those like, that one session that we did really showed me that the little person inside of me, and rather than being angry or sad or just having a temper tantrum, I could ask her what she needed, or, like, if she's just like, so many times I've just been angry and I'm in the middle of being crazy, and I'm like, "Just stop." I'm like, "What do you need?" And sometimes it might just be, I need a snack. Sometimes I need a nap. But, like, getting a relationship with that little person inside of me was something that I learned from you, and it's one of my very favorite things to, bring in when when stuff's going on.
Yeah, I remember, not every detail about it, but I do remember that you were getting stronger, so what you were getting in connecting with that part of you.
Mhm. Yeah, like, with the parts of me that were, like, maybe where you're angry about something, but you can go back and why am I angry? Why am I uncomfortable? And you can see that you feel like you're in a dangerous place, or you're not getting the needs that you need, or um some of the things that we've had conversations about is even my dad. And, like, I have to
Mm.
be ready to talk to my dad. I have to kind of gear myself up. It might take me a couple days. But a lot of the work we did too was that I'm okay, that that's a him thing, and it's not what and I can prepare myself. And I think a lot of the things now I can prepare myself for some of the situations I go into. Like when you said, like, preparing myself for that big party thing, that I was going back to family and I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. And you really helped me prepare before that situation. So now I use those same kind of ideas to prepare myself for conversations with my father or conversations with my kids. Um, I can bring those skills, those tools that you gave me into a lot of the places that I may be afraid or anxious about.
Yeah, people can only, react to whatever we connect to and we have in common, but if we work through it, you don't have that in common with them anymore. So
Mhm,
they
mhm,
it's a better it's better and, um, yeah, uh to me, you're very you have your own ways of doing your spirituality, and it's very powerful. I feel it. It's very
mhm.
powerful. So I mean, I think that's what it's about. Yeah, good. Um, all right. So we kind of said this. The next one was, when did you first notice a shift happen?
Probably right away. Like, well, I mean, and I don't mean right away, but say probably the first session we did, I was like, "Nah, don't know." But then it was like 2 or 3 days later, we did a second session.
Yeah.
Um, but probably by that session, I'd already felt something going on. So I think the shift isn't. It's not the first day. I don't know if for everybody it would be like a walk away and be like, oh, I'm cured. Um, I really think
Yeah.
sometimes it takes like a minute for your body to adjust. You can't decide when you have a coffee. Sometimes it's there right away, but sometimes it's like 15 minutes later. All of a sudden, you get the jitters. So it wasn't necessarily right away, but definitely within a couple days.
Yeah, I remember. So here's how it works. It's like if you get sick, your body's gonna push it out, and
Mm,
if you're not sick, your body's gonna start moving out toxins, whatever it can. It does it
mhm,
automatically. So when we first met, we just did the lower frequencies, and then there's no one that I had to do just one time and it was done. It was like we push out the lower frequencies, bring in the light, and then your body will say, "Okay, here's next." Brings it
mhm,
up, right? And if you're strong and you show up and you take action, we're doing that. And we do that, 2, 3 times, and then things really change.
mhm.
So, yeah, I like that you brought that up. That's kind of how it works. So, yeah. Okay. How would you describe it to someone else who never experienced it before?
Uh, Um, I think everybody's gonna have their own experience. Um, and it really, and again, it's like, do you want to do you want to feel better? And I was, what's the word? Wasn't sure that this was actually going to be a thing. So I think maybe even my disbelief made my healing at the beginning slower. Um, if I'd walked into you and been like, ah, this is what I want, but I was still not sure if like this is what I wanted or what I needed. Um, so I think it's just going to be individual. For me, it was a couple sessions in, and I was like, "This is cool. I see this happening."
Yeah.
First, I was like, "No, okay." But even in all the things I've been learning since then, um, everything is how much work you put in is what you're going to get out of it. Um, Belief is also a big part of it. Wanting it to happen is another big part of it. Not to say that somebody comes to you and isn't healed right away, isn't doesn't want to be healed. But I think it's all in the work you put in, the belief you put in. I
Yeah.
know that's not very helpful at all.
No, you know what? You just have to show up.
Yeah,
That's what you did. But the rest is like because there's unconscious stuff, and I'm like, I don't know,
yeah,
things that happen. I'm like, what was that?
yeah.
Like I didn't know that was there, sort of deal. And then it just is like it feels so good after it's gone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Okay. You know what? The app. I think you might have access to the app if you never deleted it, but I do have a web format now. I just use it when someone asks me a question. So I'll get you something because my stuff has changed, right? It evolves. And so I'll get you something and you can either modify it as you want or I'll modify it for you. But
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, we should do that. Okay. So I think that's pretty well it. My last one was where has it taken you today, but we kind of talked about that already.
Um. Well, yes, and it has definitely made my faith in God uh so much stronger. That's probably my biggest shift. I always knew believe there is a God, but this work brought me to a spiritual level that is an incredible distance from where I was. Um I through this being healed through the things I did with you, I actually went back to school and did went and got my certificate in theology. So um, it cleared enough garbage out of my way in my body that I could have space in my head for other things, of learning things.
Yeah.
Um, in the work too, I think you guys use like higher power, but you were very comfortable in using God for me, which I was very grateful. You never made me feel silly that was the being that I was using. And you even encouraged me to be able to use the faith that I was developing to bring in to my healing, which was absolutely fantastic and incredible. Um, through all of that, like I've developed now doing you encouraged me through what you doing all the things you do. I went and got certified as a 90 breathwork facilitator for somatic breathing. So it's really neat that I'm not just, sitting around doing nothing. Like I've really taken the things, the tools, the things that you've taught me, and I've put them really deeply into my life and been able to have a whole other experience and even my own work or platform myself, I guess you could say.
And my guess is those things you did are things you wanted to do long before you met me in some way.
Um, I know. I have
No?
no idea. The only thing I ever wanted to be was a mom. I had no skills after my kids were graduated from like my home. Did I know what I wanted to be when I grew up? So, watching you help me get healed and watching the way you've been and the way you compose yourself really made me want my vacuum wants me to go check her dustbin.
Oh,
But no, like you watching you and what you do really encouraged me to want to be able to help others. I think that is just in itself when you feel better because somebody else helped you, then you want to make other people feel better.
yeah, you do. So I didn't know that we haven't talked about this part, but you do a lot of community stuff and you do support a lot. So I think you're doing well. So
Yeah, like I actually just I'm on I'll call it a sabbatical from my nighttime job and just trying to figure out where I'm going next, but following your lead and healing and stuff like that, that's really something that I want to continue to push into.
yeah, a lot of people are doing that. They're
Well, when you
pausing.
feel better, you want other people to feel better. Like it's just I think it's inevitable. Like when you've been in such a deep dark place for whatever reason, it could be from childhood trauma, the death of a loved one, just a bad relationship. Uh, and I think there's so many people have different ways to go through them. But when you finally can get through, you can't help but want to share feeling better.
Yeah, I remember even when I met you, you always had a good outlook on things. You always tried. It might not have been easy, but you're always smiling and doing it and showing up and doing whatever you needed to do. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, well,
And
thank you. Thank you
yeah,
for
and
talking with me.
congratulations on you still doing this and you're still helping people. I think your work is very valuable. I think what you do is really important. And I hope you continue to do it no matter where you end up doing it from in the world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you too. You have world aspirations too. So
I do. Maybe I'll go live on a cruise ship.
never know. You
You
never
never
know.
know.